We start our final season here with West Ham, trophyless season 2, and now without a manager. Julian Lopetegui's tactics did get us top 6, but then he snaked us to slide off to Sevilla, back in his home country. A very horrible feeling as we need to start this season interviewing managers to see who takes over, and that's alongside keeping player morale high, winning games and spending a lot of money. As yes, people, I'm usually excited for episode 1s, but I'm not actually this time. I'm extra excited. Went a little bit extra there as the budget this season. Now, we didn't just finish top 6. I didn't want to spoil it all, but we finished top 4. Unbelievable for the Irons, as this is our current team and all these players are staying here. And the reason I say that is because on the bench we don't have Fulkrug, but we do, if you do realise, have some new kits on. As these are this year's, big shout out to Billy as always for making them, and this is similar to last year's but with that slight difference. I really like the waves on the kit, just a modern feeling. We had like bubbles last year, and now we're going modern again. And then this away kit, I absolutely love this as well. The black and white and the badge in the middle, that's something I'm a big fan of. Also reminds me of Grimsby, which is a huge plus in my eyes, and we are going to score goals in this kit. I can just feel it. As the penultimate one, the third kit. This is a bit va-va-voom, I'd say, a little bit out there, but third kits always have to be, hence why I love it. And I love how this goalkeeper kit just threads into, well, Areola's shoes in this case. Made him look like he had skins on. As you can see, our first game of this season, I've gone straight onto the calendar realising the Champions League doesn't pop up yet. And it's Aston Villa, who we used to have a big rivalry with. Now our manager's gone. And of course, Emre got sacked. And what's this? Unai Emre is meeting with the board man, the representative, and he is sitting down on the sofa. Unai, thanks for coming. Now, we used to have a rivalry, but since our manager walked out, we're open to suggestions. Attacking, defensive, or do you have a certain style that meets in between? I think this West Ham team has a lot of potential, and ignore what happened at Villa. I was sacked after a bad start, but if we get off to a good start here, trust me when I say this, I love claret and blue clubs. And I've been in the Champions League before, last year, with Villa. That's a bit of a tricky one, as we'll go into the transfer market a bit straight away, and a striker for Lunin. A swap deal for our keeper, and we only do have one striker, but I am going to turn that down. You know what? With Lunin, I know he is quite new, and he submitted a transfer request himself, and I am open to offers. I will listen to what comes in. He hasn't really been awful, and Real Madrid wants him back. They're not taking him this time, and PSG aren't having Wan-Bissaka. He's gonna stay ours, as the normal thing really to do is go and buy a striker. I do love Marcos Leonardo, but when you look at the bench, it is only bloody Cunningham and Jurasek who aren't good enough. We need more attacking options here, and decent enough options with us having Champions League, as these are the 3 players I do have in mind. First of all, Tammy, who's a London lad, now at Brentford, been at Chelsea, Villa, and I think Bristol City. They're not all in London, and I'm going to take him off the list. It was a thought, as Šeško looks a lot better. The Slovenian, 22 years old. But also Balogun, who's had a little stint in the Premier League with Arsenal, and to be fair, he does look quite good. He has more pace, Šeško with the height, but I am leaning towards him. 50 smackaroonies and a release clause, which I'm definitely not going to pay. I know we can afford to pay it, but I'm going to speak directly to him. Offer bang on his evaluation, and they want 75. As what if we offer 68 plus someone like Souček? Oh, that is going to be enough to get Šeško, so he joins West Ham, and we do have our star striker. Do feel bad for Leonardo, took over immediately, but Šeško with them crosses in from both of our tricky wingers, plus Eze behind him, but I do feel sorry for these two more. Kufal and Jurasek, they've just lost a Czech buddy. As good luck to Souček, Mr. Potato Salad, and a very good penalty taker, won us 2 trophies with them. As speaking of winning trophies, this just gets more interesting. David Moyes is now being re-interviewed. David, we've had our fun and our luck over 2 stints. What makes you so sure you can make it a 3rd and more successful one? Well, we left off with a trophy, and you didn't get one last year. Seems like you need your man back to me, and I'm a free agent. But didn't you apply for Preston in the Championship to get a job? Maybe I did, but still, West Ham is my home, you know. Well, sorry to David Moyes, but we decide if it's his home, as we have got a big bid in from Man United for Kudus. 85.8 million. That's going to be our struggle this season. Not playing in all these competitions, but keeping our players here. As we've rejected that one, and a bid in for Theodore Cunningham. That is definitely not enough for him. And another bid for Lunin. As it looks like the media has picked up on the Kudus rumour, Man United speculated, will that change the mind of our player? Well, judging by his happiness, he is currently unhappy, but we don't have a manager to speak to him, so we need to get a manager pronto. As this is going to be interesting, is that Cesar Azpilicueta? It is. The board say, Cesar, what are you doing applying for a job? Well, I think it's my time to go for it. I've helped behind the scenes a few times, but I want to be the main man, and London is where I like to live. Yes, I have played for Chelsea, but I like this new shade of blue. Alongside a bit of claret, I am ready to take this job on. Well, thank you for applying. I guess you do have a bit of knowledge. We'll get back to you shortly. You're an interesting one, Cesar. Very, very interesting, as these bids are for Lunin. I know I said I'd look at them really, but I'm not considering them. And not for Wan-Bissaka. Geez, this video is just going job interview, player bid, job interview, player bid. As this is the final one, and is that Zizou? I'm guessing it is, because he has stunned the board representative. This West Ham project intrigues me. I'm playing against Lopetegui in La Liga. I know he's good, and he's done good as well here. This could be my chance to get back into management. Will you grant me that opportunity? I will bloody try and take it. Well, if you can promise you're going to put everything into us. Is this just an insurance choice though? Do you just want to be here until a big club comes in for you? Well, I won't lie to you. Yes, I'm not going to be loyal here. I want to start the project, end it, and move on to pastures new. Well then, that's interesting. That interesting I've lost track of all the transfers and everything. We're approaching the start of the season. Our pre-season was a loss to AC, a win against Sociedad, and then a loss to Villarreal, who will all be teams we face in the Champions League. But for now, it's into Villa first. An interesting first tie, of course. And this is the team I'm thinking of. A lot of first teamers not got played. Guido out of position a bit, and this is going to take some fixing for whoever's in temporary charge. And I know you guys wanted a certain person, but with Sir Mark Noble not having a player in-game face, we have gone and got a new caretaker, Frank Lampard, an ex-Hammer. As how can Super Frank do on opening day in the Premier League at the London Stadium? Can he use a bit of his experience? He always squeezes his way into good jobs somehow, and he's got Paqueta, Eze and Guido. Some good midfielders like him to coach, but some unfit faces, and Akanji with a good tackle. He needs to start off well this season. Guido with a run. He's the player out of position, and we've got Šeško starting the game, but he's going to go back post. Took away from Bowen, still needs a reply here. With Wan-Bissaka now putting a ball towards Šeško. That's what his height does. No swing. Positive start for the Irons, as the first game always tough, and that is a good ball through, and it's going to be Eze to strike at Martinez. Shot straight off the bat though. Flying out of the gates, as now they've had a mini attack right here, but Šeško, what can he do? On his own is the big Slovenian, but now he waits for Jared Bowen, and look at that pass from a striker. Bowen lets it go across him a little bit. Oh, and he's still rubbish. At the moment, should I say. Shouldn't use the word rubbish, as now Paqueta. He goes for one of them long ranges, and again, not far off. I remember beating these easy 3-0 in our third game, as Mohamed Kudus is his head on it. Of course, with the rumours to Manchester United, who aren't in the top 4, I don't think. And that's a good ball through to Šeško, who should have got his opening goal. Should have scored on his debut. Maybe with some different helpers. Oh, Guido, how you missing that? Gaia with the recovery. A good tackle. I'm trying to get Somerville on, but this could be good, you know. It is Šeško on a run again on his own. Cuts inside of the defender. Benjamin Šeško to fire one. Ends the debutant's day, as that's a good tackle. Now Somerville, the subs may work right here. It is Marcus Leonardo trying to get his start and score. He's off the crossbar and hit the face of Moreno. As a very lively opening day, I think we'll end with just a point as Lunning keeps us in it. Oh my days, he keeps us in it. What a save from the goalkeeper. Has just had this ball away. Guido is done terribly again. And that is the end of the game. Aston Villa and West Ham, two outside contenders for the Champions League, drawing their first game, which was very exciting. If only West Ham fans shared that sentiment, saying boo. I'm picking out a player in particular, Guido's involvement. I thought it was bad as well. The position's not suiting him no more. And Paqueta, he's a cam, but we do have his position to change. As finally he is ready, and he doesn't even get an upgrade. To be fair, he's left-footed. Maybe I need to swap him and Guido. So there we go, I've gone and done it. But also I might take him out fully. Solaire's not had an opportunity. So let's give this new man a go. Looks a little bit like Frank Lampard, even from a distance, as we're going to simulate Palace. Please just be a win. A 2-2 draw at Selhurst Park. Years back, we had fun here. It was our playground. I mean, Šeško with 2 goals either side of the break. At least the debutant's doing better. Or I can't really call him debutant. I mean, he has averaged a good rating. And the team we play next is that team that was always after him. Arsenal, and bids just flying in for Wan-Bissaka and Lunning, which we are going to ignore. And we still do have Frank Lampard. At home against the Arsenal, it needs to be better than Aston Villa, and that is a kit I own. Number 7, with Saka on the back. I do like Arsenal's kit, but I like our kits better from Billy, as we need to try and get at them right here. Carlos Soler still staying in this midfield. Want to use him in game as he's running at the defender right here, and he's got a ball into Jared Bowen. Should have scored an opening goal there. Early bit of play, and they've just tried to take Paqueta out. I saw Eze down, getting back up, and that is a poor shot. But what's even poorer is we've lost Eze to an injury immediately, so Cunningham gets a big chance here. As if he wants to make the Champions League squad, he's got to impress right here, as Šeško's won the ball far forward, drilling it towards Theodore. Not quite reaching his man though, and Šeško, that's a good ball. Cunningham cutting through the middle of Arsenal, our youth player. That's the goal we needed, and it's Theodore Cunningham off the bench in the first half with an impact. What do you ask from your number 17? Absolutely stupendous. Look at this, just running through at Ramsdale, who's terrible in the goal, and 1-0 to the Irons. This is more like it, as oh dear, that's more like Arsenal. Saka in the box, Manuel Akanji playing better this year. Also, Jose Gaya just holding his man off with ease, and now Soler. Get that through the middle. It's Cunningham pulling all the strings. Theodore Cunningham, he's made him slip. That was absolutely stupid from the defender as he whips it in, looking for Šeško. He's not that bloody tall. He is tall, and he's good with his feet as he's through on goal right here. And he scores against the club that wanted him. 2-0 at the break, and it's Benjamin Šeško. 3 goals, 3 games. He may be a fan favourite sooner than we think. No Eze, no problem. Of course, sorry to Ebereche. Hope he gets better. But we're getting better. Loving the way we've played this game as Cunningham looking through that gap. They're just taking him out now. It's Declan Rice, one of our old boys. As long as he doesn't keep the ball away and get a stupid yellow card again in this game, he'll be fine. As Alvarez looking with a power shot for our third. As look at that, Mohamed Kudus. He's got the afterburners on. He could make it 3. Mohamed Kudus through on goal against Arsenal. We're still all over Arsenal though as Šeško. Can he work with Cunningham? They've worked together well so far. Look at that for a dink. It's Cunningham again. 3-0. Brace for the little man who didn't start. He wasn't on the bench in the first game. You cannot get rid of Theo. And seriously, Šeško, they're going to have a very good partnership. The dink over the top and the finish, absolutely exquisite. A 5-star display, but I'm looking for 4 goals to go with it. A brilliant tackle, and now Cunningham Could he work with Šeško again? Look at that. Terrible defending Gabriel. Šeško wants to join in the fun, going round Aaron Ramsdale and grabbing the fourth. It is just getting silly now. Šeško celebrates. 2 players on a brace. 4-0 against Arsenal. Šeško just a cheat code. And now Bowen. Look at Jared Bowen. He hasn't scored in a while, and he goes down for the penalty. And there's only one man to take it. He's got the most power in the squad. It's going to be Šeško for the hat-trick ball. Can he finish this in? Aaron Ramsdale in the goal. 5-0 at the London Stadium, and the new signing now has a hat-trick against the club that wanted him. West Ham iron out Arsenal in a fantastic display. 5-0. That is a sign of things to come. As Frank Lampard, he's not the permanent manager, but does go to the press conference, asked about the display and if he knows if he's got the job yet. Well, the club are looking into things. Behind the scenes, a lot going on. I don't think I'll get it, but I do love this club and will stay until needed. Well, what's your big next move then? Inside or outside of West Ham? Well, I'll tell you straight right now, there's an Arsenal player I need a word with.